Hello, everyone, and welcome to Blow the Whistle Sports. I'm your host, Wayne Holloway, and thank you once again for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and share. And like always, if you want to see something on our show or you have a bright idea, drop them in the comments below or hit us on any one of our social media outlets. Holler at us, we holler back. But without further ado, it's been a long time, and we're happy to see you guys. Thank you for tuning in. But first, let me introduce you to my co-host. He is not here. He is in Carolina, but he is calling in live, and his name is Mr. Steven Rubain. How you doing, sir?
Man, it's been a challenging summer, but I'm just so happy to get back in here and talk some football, get back to some normalcy. It's like when you don't have football, it just doesn't feel right. And so, man, I'm excited to get back in there and then just really grind into it. Just what should be a great 2025-2026 football season.
Man, what it feels like we've been gone for a long time, but have
Yes,
no
it
fear,
does. Oof.
people. You will see us all the time now. We have made some updates, as you see. Our new logo, introducing to you guys now, Blow the Whistle Sports. It's all official. Oh my goodness. We got a bunch of contests coming to you this season. And we look for every week just for it to get more and more exciting and more interesting. We look for your feedback. So all comments are welcome. We do answer our comments. Give us a bit of a time, but we will answer all of them. But Steve, you know what? Enough of that talk. Let's get into this news. Oh, before I say let's get into this news, you're okay? Everything's good with you?
Yeah, like I said, it's been a challenging summer. I'll get more into detail later on about it, but we're just, all I can tell everybody is just appreciate life, take things one day at a time, and always lug and hug your family, you know, friends, people who are closest to you, because nothing is for certain. So,
That's a
we
must.
don't ever take anything for granted.
Yes. My goodness. Life is lovely, but it is short. And we're only here for a
Yes, it
bit of a
is.
time. So while you're here, let's have fun. And let's
Absolutely. And
experience it all together.
absolutely. And as we always say on this show, we're just two passionate sports fans giving us our perspective from the eyes of a fan. And so when we talk on this show, we may say things that are controversial, things that may not seem like the best, but we're saying it from our hearts because we truly are two sports fans who love football with a passion. We live it, love it, live it.
Hey, and I
So
walk it
keep
like I
that in
talk
mind
it.
as you listen to the show.
If I said it,
Yes. Oh my
it's
goodness.
coming from the
Yeah,
heart, and you can feel one way about it, and I respect the way you feel. I respect the way you feel, even though I'm right,
absolutely.
and you guys might more than likely be wrong, because I'm right a lot.
Absolutely. Well, just for people who are new to the show, just to understand that while we are two sports fans, we come from two different perspectives. He is the ultimate optimist sports fan. He loves his Carolina Panthers, and they can do no wrong. So when you listen to the show and you hear him say they're going to win the Super Bowl, keep that from the perspective of he's only talking as a sports fan. There's no truth to it, but as a passionate fan, he believes every year they're going to win the Super Bowl. So just keep that in mind.
Steve, I've heard that from other people as well, but let's put it in perspective, people. I'm a diehard Carolina Panther fan, as he said, but I'm not going to let him kick me. I've never said, "Oh, we're going to win the Super Bowl this year." I'm not one of those type of fans, but I'm also an optimistic as every year, any given Sunday, a team can do what they can do and put it to the next team. I'm not going to go into the season on my team's not going to do good. I'm going to go in with high hopes, but then as the season goes on, the way things turn out, I'm a realist. I'm a realist. I know I am. Yeah, feels good.
Now I am the true. Now I am the true realist because I am a long-suffering Washington Redskins / Commanders fan, and so those who've watched the show for years know that for several years I boycotted the team to the point of I refused to put on anything that was associated with the team until the owner was gone.
Yeah.
And those who understand about the Redskin history know we have one of the worst owners in the history of professional sports in Daniel Snyder. and he took what was once a great, proud organization and ran it to the ground.
Woo, badly.
And now we're on the upmend. We're on the up.
Yeah,
we're rising up again. We're rising up from the ashes, and we're gonna get a lot into that this season because a lot of great things are happening or could be happening soon for the Washington franchise. So we're gonna get into that in more detail later.
I'm a fan of your quarterback. Not a fan of your team,
Yes,
but a fan of your quarterback. He's the real deal, Holyfield, as they say. Real deal.
Yes, he is. But I, being the realist, also know that as real as he is, there will be or maybe a little bit of a letdown this year. So I'm keeping that in the background. Still loving our quarterback, loving the direction of the team, but history has just shown that usually in the second year you start having a little fallback, and so we'll see.
But see, people, that's what I'm saying. He's down in his team already. That is the norm in the NFL. It's called the sophomore slump. Every quarterback, they say, has a drawback his second year. It doesn't have to happen.
Yes.
And I didn't see any type of drawback. This young man has looked like he's been here before. He looks like he's played the game since he was knee high. He'll be just fine. He'll be just fine. Now, the main thing to talk about with that team is a wide receiver issue.
And that's our whole point. He'll be just fine. But as we all know, NFL is a team sport.
True.
And so as a team, there's going to be a fallback.
Team.
Now, he may
I like the way you said that.
He may have a better, team. he may have an amazing season. He may even be in the MVP run. But as a team, the schedule's going to be tougher. The spotlight's going to be bigger. And as we're already seeing, we're going to talk about a little bit today, we're already having our first big holdout, and it's going to have an impact on the team.
That's right.
So we're going to get into that today. That's going to be one of our main topics today.
And we want to thank our faithful followers. We got a couple of them on here now. Hasibi, hey, we love you. Thank you for supporting the show. Glenn White, we love you too, sir. Thank you for supporting the show. You guys have always been an inspiration, and it makes it fun when we get on here and have the combos back and forth. Hey, if you don't feel what I'm saying, tell me about what you feel. Tell me about how you feel about things. We listen.
And look, Glenn White is Carolina too. I'm gonna call him Carolina Deuce. Carolina Deuce.
Oh,
that's your partner. And I spent a lot this summer in Carolina, and I will say, for years of going back to Carolina, you get very, very little information about the Panthers in the off season. And I will say this is the first year going back in quite a few years where there actually does seem to be a little bit of a buzz in Carolina for the Panthers.
They feel it.
A little bit.
They feel it.
I felt it. I felt it. I could tell that people are starting to catch on with the Panthers. They're starting to feel your quarterback a little bit.
Yes,
starting
sir.
to feel that you guys might do something. So
hey,
I'm keeping tabs on that.
And you guys heard it here on Blow the Whistle Sports. I said it when we were drafting. We were going after CJ Stroud. That fell through. We went and got Bryce Young. I like both of them. I knew Stroud was ready to start, and I said, Bryce Young, third year, take off fire. Fourth year, the man. You heard it here first. You can go back through the clips and see how I introduced it and I brought it into you guys. But Glenn White says on YouTube, sophomore slump is real. 80% of the QBs went through it.
Yeah, it's just a natural part of the game. Now every coach has film. Every coach can see every tendency that quarterback has. They now have an ability to go ahead and game scheme for this quarterback, and so it's just not going to be as easy as it was the first year, where teams are just trying to figure it out, trying to figure out on the fly. And so I'm expecting, I'm hoping and praying that I could be wrong, but just based off of history,
you worry too much, Steve. I told you Washington will be just fine. The only question I have is with your wide receiver issue. And Hasibi on Facebook says there are some real unanswered questions on defense in Washington as well.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we had some big pickups, getting Von Miller and the experience that he has, getting the guy from the 49ers, I can't remember his name on the top of my head, but he's a strong player. I mean, they've made some strong pickups, but there still are some big question marks. We don't know if Marshawn Lattimore is going to be able to bounce back and be the player that he's been with the Saints all these years. You know, there's question marks. And so, and like I said, and the schedule is brutal. We got a tough schedule.
Yeah, they got a real schedule. Y'all won some real games last season.
Yeah, there's some real games, and I mean,
with that comes a price
this year.
Yeah.
So so all that factors in, and like I mentioned about last year, we had a lot of, I won't say, I don't ever believe in lucky wins, but we had a lot of wins that could have gone either way.
Right.
So it wasn't like we were a dominant 12-5. We were a 12-5 that could have easily been 9-8. 89. So
it's what
I'm
any coach would want, Steve. You had a quarterback. He was a new quarterback. You didn't expect nobody expected for him to make those veteran type decisions that he did. He made decisions better than some veterans that been in the league for a while. That shows how resilient he is in his decision making. I tell people a lot. Lamar Jackson to me is one of, if not the best quarterbacks in the game. His Achilles heel is his decision making on using his body in times when he doesn't have to, even though he has the talent and the skill. Think of the team. Hand that ball off, let that man run, and decision making. But we'll get more into that.
Well, I mean, that's going to always be a huge topic for us because we see differently on Lamar Jackson. And so,
we're still talking about your quarterback, but I was talking about Lamar Jackson, veteran, Jaden Daniels, a rookie, out of his rookie year, sophomore year, making better decisions than this man in dishing the ball off to the right people at the right times.
Right.
That's a true captain.
But that's quarterback play 101. You know, the great quarterbacks know when to make the right play at the right time. The quarterbacks that suffer don't, or seem not to.
And I have to say something, Steve. Hasibi on Facebook says Panthers will be better than last year. They will get 7 to 8 wins. I beg to differ, CB. First of all, Carolina is going to win this division. If we don't win the division, we're gonna be doggone close to winning the division. We them dogs in the fight this season. We the dog in the fight this season.
Yes. For my new listeners, now you see what I'm talking about. This is what we're discussing about.
What I say wrong?
Different perspective. Hasibi is giving a very honest take. If they win 8 to 9 games, that's a 4 to 5 game increase. That's very good. I mean, that's a realistic level of jump in the season. You're talking about them doing a complete Washington Commanders and going from 5-12 to 12-5, 11-6. It's not going to happen.
That was a nice name drop. Washington. No. Carolina Panthers. Hey, Glenn, check out the new hat, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Check out the new hat, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I mean, we see the Panthers doing better this year, but there's nothing the Panthers did that's going to talk about having a 7 to 8 game jump in the schedule this year. 3 or 4 games is very realistic. 7 or 8 games. I mean, could it happen? It's possible. I mean, you still do have a last place schedule, so I mean, there's a chance that.
Whoa! We're playing all NFL teams, sir. I don't hear about the schedules thing. Hey, man. Hey, we here. It's real, but we'll talk about it as it goes on. You know, we can talk about our team all day long, Steve.
All day long. I mean,
all day long.
We can ran on for an hour and a half, 2 hours if you let us. So let's get into training camp, though. And I'm just going to start off the training camp report by first of all stating, as someone who's watched training camps for 45, 50 years, it feels like this has been one of the quietest as far as overall training camps that I can recall in many, many a year. When I say quiet, I mean as far as there's no real quarterback controversies. Going into the season, we thought the Browns was going to be a big controversy between the Flacco, Pickett, Shedeur Sanders. It is, but
huge.
Right now, half the guys are hurt. It doesn't seem like anybody's really stepping up to really take control of the battle. And it don't seem like the Browns are going to be very good anyway. So it's kind of like,
Hold up. It's a huge battle going over there at the Browns. And what's
really.
becoming obvious is Shedeur Sanders should have been picked earlier, and he should be running this team. It's becoming obvious. It's becoming they're trying to gloss over it. It's becoming obvious. Yes, Mr. Sanders, Shedeur Sanders should be in charge over there, and he's going to run that Browns organization the right way.
Just to update those who are coming in new, this is one we went into last year about the draft and blah, blah, blah. A draft is a job interview. Just for people to understand, it's a job interview. You go out, nobody knows whether anybody is going to be good enough to do the job. You anticipate. You think, well, based on what we saw in college, based on the barometrics, based on anticipation and hope, you think a guy could do certain things. Right. As a draft. The draft is, Tom Brady was drafted in the 6th round because he had horrible barometrics. He looked slow. He looked out of shape. If they had that draft over again, he'd be the first pick of the draft. That's how inaccurate drafting can be.
Yeah, it shows you how they can talk a good game and get it all wrong. Tom Brady, the GOAT, drafted in what round, Steve?
The 6th round.
Yeah. Tom Brady, go think of that.
5th round, 6th round, and even Mahomes was drafted like number 10 or 11. You don't think those 9 teams that drafted above Mahomes, if they had it over again, he wouldn't be the first pick of the draft?
Hey,
I mean that's just a barometrics of a draft. So Shedeur Sanders came in to the draft and he had bad barometrics. He had bad things going against him.
Hey,
namely his name and a reflection of what the impact of the Sanders name and Deion's impact was held against him. Is it right? No. But that's just the fairness of an interview. When you're going into an interview and they're looking at things like you're buying all this fancy stuff that a normal player of his situation would not be doing. You're talking about things that you normally a player of his position would not be talking about. That's going to be looked down upon by teams. They don't want a rookie coming in looking like he's going to be a big world. They want somebody to come in who's going to be able to fit their system and do what needs to get done to help their team get better.
Right. Hey, I'll give you all that. Like I told you myself, in my eyes, I thought it was a cultural divide in what he said because he didn't say anything detrimental. The only thing he was saying is that whatever team drafts him, he's coming to change the program to win, not for the worse, not coming to be a hindrance on the team, not coming to be a show out, a loudmouth, but he's coming to change the whole organization for the better. And it was perceived the wrong way due to the other Sanders, the big dog in charge, and it was lost in the translation.
But the translation, that's a package deal. When you're talking about Shedeur Sanders, Deion Sanders is a package deal in it. You can't separate the two. You want to try to separate the two. You can't separate the two because Deion Sanders is a big impact. Now the guy who was the number 1 pick of the draft, Cam Ward, he came in with no fanfare. There's nobody talking about what he needs to do or what he can do or he's going to come in and do in the league. He let his play on the field do the talking. And that's what teams in the NFL are looking for. They're looking for somebody who does their talking on the field.
Hey,
I mean, that's just the reality.
I totally get
Guys
where
who
you're
come
coming
in
from,
brash.
and that's just like the right and the left, always against each other. I get it. I get it. You have to, when you're trying out or when you're going to get a job, you have to know what's the temperature at the job, who's in charge of the job, and not step on any toes, because you don't know what side of the tracks they came up on. They might misconstrue your enthusiasm for arrogance. And one thing I don't agree on is uh, the other Sanders, the big dog, is not the one that got drafted. It was Shadir, so he should be drafted purely on his merit, not off of what his
Once
dad
again,
did. Period.
but okay, but you know one way he could have solved that. He could have went into the combine and worked out.
I agree.
And then at that point, then the barometrics would be the he chose not to. And then this goes again to what I mean about a job interview. When you go into a job interview and you're already laying down stipulations, when you're not in a position to lay down stipulations, you've already hurt yourself.
And that's where I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. Imagine me going to a job interview and then I sit there and say, I don't feel like you interviewing me. I don't feel like me showing you what I can do. You just go ahead and look at what I've done before.
True.
You're not going to get hired for that job. If you enter a job interview and the employer says, well, we want to see what some things you can do, and you sit there and say, nah, I'm going to hold off on that one. You go back and look at my resume and let my resume speak for itself.
That speaks volumes. Just what you said there.
What job in America would you get hired at?
Hey, that speaks volumes. Like I said, what you said there, that's a mic drop right there. Yeah. I get it. I get it. But
and that's what it comes down with Shador. Shador did not have the college career that was worthy enough to sit there and say, I'm not good, and I'm too good to work out for you guys. I'm too good to when you have numerous other quarterbacks who did work out. I'm too good to work out.
I'm not gonna say it like that.
He doesn't have any Heismans.
What I'm gonna say?
Have any,
what I'm gonna say is I'm not gonna say it like that. I'm gonna say it like when you're new coming into a new organization, you're left the college level and you're going to the pro level. All QBs should fall in line and do their job interview right. So I'm gonna leave it like that. You're right. I get it. I'm not gonna kick the young man. What I will say is I believe, like we said last season, this helped him because it's low expectations. He didn't come like with Bryce Young. He came with the weight of the world on his shoulders. And then he had to deal with front office problems and front office BS to where the front office is arguing and the coach is pulling from the owner, and the owner, it was a bad look. And that puts a lot on the young man. Now he is the underdog working his way up to shine. I think it works out better that way.
Oh, absolutely does. And it looks like this week he's going to be the starter in their first preseason game because of injuries to both Pickett and to Gabriel. Gabriel was a guy who was drafted before Shador Sanders. He's had pretty much a very tough training camp, which makes his Sanders look even better. So now we'll get a chance to get a little bit of a shine to see how Sanders is going to perform on a pro level type offense.
Right.
And so
he get to work out with the ones.
Yeah, he get to work out with the ones. We get to see how he performs on a game level, because you can examine somebody all day at practice, but when you got somebody on the other team coming at you, you got to try to figure out things on the fly. That really makes a much bigger impact as to see whether or not he is ready or not ready yet. So
yes, sir.
We're going to have next week when we get more in detail about the games.
Oh yeah,
we're going to get.
It's going to get juicy.
Really
we're going to get Steve on camera next week. Finally.
Absolutely.
As soon as he leave Carolina, I hope the weather's good out there. Oh, shout out to Mr. Bang Bang 49er house in the house. What's going on, sir? How you doing? Darnell.
Oh yes, our resident 49er fan, and the 49, as we're looking now, I'm looking at a picture with Purdy. and to see what are the Niners going to do this year. Are the Niners rebuilding, or are the Niners retooled? That's going to be the question this season, getting into can they compete with, I guess if we're assuming the Rams are the elite of the NFC West. That's the assumption.
I think it's more than an assumption, but the 49ers, I've talked to a lot of 49er faithfuls. They down on their team, but as long as your coach goes through the running game, because the 49ers have got one of the best running teams in the league. As long as they stick to what they're good at, they'll be just fine, and they can surprise a lot of people. A lot of people.
Yeah. So yeah, they are an enigma this year. We're not quite sure what to expect from them. They could be 12-5. They could be 5-12. It's that wild with them as far as how far the window is for them. Like you said, keeping McCaffrey healthy, of course, is huge.
Right.
Can McCaffrey get through a whole season? And then, quite frankly, where is the defense now? They've had a lot of people leave that defense the last couple of years.
A lot of people.
What is that
big
defense
going
to look? Yeah, big names. And so, what is that defense going to look like? Those are probably the two biggest questions. And now that Brock Purdy has got his papers, he got his money, is he going to remain that elite level quarterback?
To me, he looks like a quarterback that loves the game, and he wants to show himself. He still has a lot to prove.
Yes.
I believe Brock Purdy is going to be just fine. The only problem with Brock Purdy in the 49ers situation is that wide receiver room. They got rid of Debo, so now Jennings and Ayuk. Is Ayuk going to come back 100%? Is he going to be a little gimpy, or is he ready to go? We need to know. They got. Are they going to turn into a passing team, or are they going to be the true running team that they are? If they stay the true running team that they are, or at least fake it till they make it, they can control the game a little bit better that way instead of trying to pass the ball and pounding that ball on the ground and doing dinks and dunks and utilizing that tight end.
Absolutely. And that's where the enigma comes in, because there are so many different questions as to what type of team they're going to be,
yes, sir.
how our guys going to play. So, yeah, when we get into our more in-depth, we're going to really get into those top teams. But we want to really get in today to what really has been the big topic in the NFL the last 2 weeks especially, has been these holdouts.
Woo!
So right now we got three big holdouts that have been the talk of the NFL the last couple of weeks. And one has really blown up in the last week because of an owner who, for those who are unfamiliar, I can't say enough how much I can't stand the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones.
Oh, man.
I can't speak enough about how much I can't stand him. And so, based on things that he's done towards this top defensive player, this has become like the topic in the NFL this week.
He's a businessman, Steve. Business is business, and business is booming. Businessman.
Can you tell the people the name of the player who I'm talking about for the Cowboys?
Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons.
Got to be talking about Micah Parsons.
Yeah, so Micah Parsons, the top defensive player, questionably. I don't think it's a question. I think he is the Cowboys' best defensive player. Someone who, he's been 4-time All-Pro. He's done everything in his 4 seasons that you can ask of him on the field. I think he's been quality off the field. He hasn't done anything to embarrass the Cowboy name. He needs to get paid.
He paid his dues.
Now for somebody who don't understand the Cowboys situation, the last 2 seasons, the Cowboys have had 2 high-profile holdouts. You had Dak Prescott, who ended up getting his papers. He got paid. You had CeeDee Lamb last year, who held out. He ended up getting paid. Now, those 2 getting paid should not have any impact on Micah Parsons getting paid, but of course it does.
Money.
Now, but here's the problem. The Cowboys are making head over I mean, they're making crazy money.
Yes.
For the owner. They've been, those who are new to this, I've been crying for this for years about this whole theme of the Cowboys, America's team, this great marketing scheme they pulled off. They haven't won anything in 29 years, but yet they still consider themselves to be the elite team in the NFL. They keep selling every year. This is the year we're going to go to the Super Bowl. The fan base buys it. The media somehow buys it as well. And then they get let down, and then they start all over again the next year.
They're the elite merchandise team along with the Raiders.
Yeah.
Elite merchandising. Right. My goodness.
Exactly. But that all comes down to selling a fan base lies. People are buying into something that has been a misnomer. Jerry Jones has shown in the last 20 plus years, he's not about winning.
Ooh.
He's shown this time and time again.
You keep putting it in their face like that, it's going to hurt.
Well, of course, let the truth set you free.
Hey.
Level one, if you were true about winning, you're not going to make yourself to be the coach / GM / owner / everything. He wants to have his hands in everything.
Bingo. Especially when it's not working. It hasn't worked.
It hasn't worked.
It hasn't worked
for 20 plus years.
So that's why here at Blow the Whistle Sports, we've come up with the Cowboys don't want to win because they're already winning at merchandise. Now, Cowboy fans, you guys let us know. Are we crazy? Or is the handwriting on the wall? Cowboy, Jerry Jones is fine with the money that he makes from you guys coming to the stadium, buying up everything at the stadium, but more importantly, buying that merch. Keep purchasing that merch. It's not hurting him.
Yes.
He winning.
It's not hurting him at all. He took a franchise that he bought for in the hundreds of millions, and now it's probably worth close to 12, 15 billion. So he's a multi-billionaire almost strictly from what he's done with the Cowboys. And I mean, and I give him credit. As a businessman, I give him total credit. But his ability to keep selling this lie all these years and having the fan base buy into it, kudos to him.
Not just the fan base, the everybody's bought into it because it's like a household saying. Cowboys, America's team. But we're just trying to tell you, as America's teams, a team, as you guys go by, you're not trying to win. What you're trying to do is sell seats and sell those jerseys. It's proven. When you hired a coach, you guys were winners. Super Bowl winners. When he took over, you've got nothing. For how many years, Steve?
Nothing. 29 years. You got to go back to 1996, the last time they were in a championship game. The longest streak. Think about this. The longest streak in the NFL right now. 29 seasons since they last played in with the Commanders getting to the NFC Championship game last year. The Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys, have the longest streak of not playing in a championship game. Think about that, guys.
Why? Because the owner is the coach and the owner, and it would be different if it was.
Don't forget, and the GM. He's the
but
GM
it's not working, Jerry. It's not working. It's not.
So,
as a businessman, you're supposed to change it up. It's not working.
So listen to the craziness of this situation with Michael Parsons. So Michael Parsons, like almost every player in the league, has what's called an agent.
Right.
So those who don't understand how agent works, agent is supposed to be the one who negotiates your contracts, your business deals, etc., for you. Right. And then you give them a piece of the pie, and it allows you just to be the player, and then you have somebody who does the dirty work behind the scenes for you. Now, Jerry Jones, being the businessman that he is, he's decided, I'm not going to talk to Michael, his agent. I'm just going to go straight to you and to the media and use the media and what he would perceive, a perceived softness he probably saw in Michael Parsons to try to get a deal done outside of what the agent. So he called Michael Parsons into his office. Yeah. So he called Michael Parsons into the office, and on a sly level, try to give him a contract for him to sign. Say, here's what I'm going to offer you. I'm going to give you this much for this many years.
Take this and be happy.
You can sign it now. Yeah. Michael Parsons says, no, talk to my agent. That is, as he should. That is common sense, what any player should do. Jerry Jones, because Jerry Jones is the so-called quote-unquote businessman, he becomes hurt because I thought we had a better relationship. Why do I need to talk to an agent when I can just talk to you directly? And now this is blown up to a point now where now Michael Parsons last week has come out and asked to be traded because he feels disrespected, as he should. Now, because people are such Cowboy lovers and they're saying, well, Michael Parsons should have just signed the contract. He should have gone ahead,
When Jerry Jones, essentially, if you ever watched the movie Straight Outta Compton, he did what Jerry Heller did to Ice Cube.
Yeah.
Brought him into his office, had the lights a little dim, sat the contract on the table, was like, look, we're going to give you this amount of money. Go ahead and sign it. Everybody else signed it, and let's move on. And a businessman sitting across from Jerry Jones said, "Just talk to my agent. He handles all that. I don't handle the typing and the signing of all that. I look it over after we talk about what's best for me. But talk to my agent." And Jerry Jones took it to another level. And this is the way business is done. But this is what they got mad at Shedeur for not handling business the way it's done. But now we have an owner / GM / coach that tried to do business it's not the way it's supposed to be done.
Now I will add to that though, and the difference between Sanders and Michael Parsons. Sanders is only going off of a college resume that at best is solid but not great.
I agree. But I'm always going to call it out when they try to flip it on somebody because it was flipped. It was flipped. But I get it. It makes sense. It makes sense. But I'm gonna call
Michael Parsons is 4 years elite. And the thing about Michael Parsons is that Michael Parsons and those who will argue against Parsons will say, well, he's already under contract. He signed a 5-year deal. So he still has 1 year left on his contract. So he should adhere to what's on his contract, the contract that he signed. And that's always the argument people always put out. That if you sign a contract, you should adhere to the contract, blah, 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 blah.
Yes, but when you have a high quality player, when you get to the last year of your contract, things happen. This is a contact sport, and things can end tragically or just a freak something. So you want to protect your high value players with a contract that they can take care of their families even after the game is over.
Yes. And unless you have a truly guaranteed contract, every player is playing game to game.
Exactly.
Because you're only as good as your last game, your last play. And we've seen it time and time again, guys having career-ending injuries. So you can never assume that a guy is going to stay healthy, a guy is going to be able to play for so many years. We can go through and talk about for the next 5 hours guys whose careers ended early because of injuries. And so Michael Parsons has to look at it from the perspective of there's no guarantees, even if I go out and play this season, that I may make it through the season. My career might end week 2 this season.
Yeah.
You never know. So I got to look out for my money right now and make sure that I'm paid my value.
Exactly. What are other holdouts, Steve?
Yeah, so on Michael Parsons, I'm on Team Parsons.
You are?
Now the second holdout, that's
he a Cowboy fan. You sure you on that team?
I'm on Team Parsons. I'm not on Team Cowboys at all.
Okay.
I'm on Team Parsons, and the end out, Michael Parsons yesterday said that he would go to the Commanders for less money. That he's so hurt by the Cowboys that he would take a contract with the Commanders for less money. And I say, bring it on. If the Commanders can make it happen, adding him to our defense would be killer.
Wow. Yeah, because
I'd be happy for that.
You guys got a Palomalu type player already on your defense. Putting the Michael Parsons over there. Wow.
Ooh.
Wow.
I'd be all for that. Hey, if we need to give up 1 or 2 first-round picks for that, make it happen. So I'm all for that. But speaking of Commanders, our second player to talk about is Terry McLaurin.
Woo, that's a big one. That's a big one.
Yeah, that's a big one. Now let me break down the difference between the Michael Parsons and the Terry McLaurin. Now both McLaurin and Parsons on the field and in the community have been upstarts. They've been amazing,
impactful,
all pro level players, done everything can be asked of. The difference between McLaurin and Parsons was drafted by the owner / GM / coach who is now negotiating his contract. So Jerry Jones believed in Parsons to draft him when he drafted him. He believed in Parsons for the level of play he's played on the field. He now needs to pay him accordingly. Now, in the case of Terry McLaurin was drafted by not just a whole nother coach, a whole nother GM, and a whole other owner. So he was drafted in a completely different situation. It was even a different team there. I think when he was drafted, they were the Washington football team. Remember that name?
Yeah, you guys have been through some changes.
Oh my goodness!
And if you let it happen, Donald Trump wants you guys to go back to the Washington Redskins.
We'll say that for a whole nother day because I got a whole lot of opinion on that one. But I want to just focus on McLaurin for today. So that's a whole show in itself.
So what do you think McLaurin's going to do, Steve? What is he going to do?
Well, here's the question. As I was mentioning a second ago, he was drafted by a whole different owner, a whole different coach, and a whole different GM. So technically speaking, they have no allegiance to him. Now, given the fact that he had an amazing season last year,
check his resume.
Done everything that they've asked of him in the organization. They can wash their hands of McLaurin, and while it won't be popular with the fan base, they can justify it in the sense of he wasn't their guy. We didn't draft him. We're not sitting here saying he's not a great player.
We're not sitting here saying he's not a great player, and that's crazy.
But we have, as you've mentioned earlier tonight, Superman, Spider-Man, whatever you want to call him, the beast incarnate, Jaden Daniels, who we got to worry about paying him. We know his contract, when that contract comes up, is going to be crazy.
Yeah, but you got to keep elite players around him.
Well, see, that's the question, though. Yes, it makes total sense to keep elite players around him. But if an elite player is saying, trade me, can you afford to do something that may not be in your best interest?
And this is why you NFL teams have issues with your players. The way this deal is being done, the players asking for more money, at least offer him money a couple of times before you say that he's being an issue. Give him what he's worth, and let's see if he stays around. Now, other than that, this is why players be like, all right, they want to check out early. They want to be traded because this is the business of the game. As you heard Steve said, hey, last season, McLaurin's resume on Washington was excellent, but he also said that, hey, we can wash our hands of him. No, it's a business. We understand that, but this is why, if there's no loyalty, players will always act the way they act.
Yeah, but we've seen now, but as you mentioned about a few minutes ago with the Cowboys, they've shown no loyalty. They've shown that you're just a property. You're just a commodity to them. They don't see the human being. They don't see the passion of the player. They just see it as dollars and cents.
As for me, I want McLaurin to stay on Washington, but if not,
I do as well.
The Rams could take him. He could be used anywhere and fit right in.
I mean, and that's going to be the leverage is right now. There's a market for him, But his market is going to be based on health and wealth.
Don't let Patrick
if a team
Mahomes get a hold of him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If a team like a Mahomes gets one injury at the wide receiver position, and let's keep in mind too, they got Rashid Rice, who's on a 6-7 game suspension.
Yeah.
They got question marks in other levels. You let him go to a place like Kansas City, all bets are off. It's just over. There's a couple other teams that also could use McLaurin and might be able. Buffalo is one I can think on top of my head that is Super Bowl ready and may just be one wide receiver away from.
And that's what Buffalo needs is a wide receiver pick me up. We've talked about Buffalo's wide receivers, but it seems like every year you don't. Ever since Diggs left, he hasn't had a wide receiver like that.
Yeah, it's wide receiver by committee. It's Josh Allen's greatness, and then you just fill in wide receivers as needed. I mean, that's pretty much what Buffalo is now. It's all in the hands of what Josh Allen can do in lieu of the talent that he has around him. And so they definitely could use a wide receiver of McLaurin's level to be that elite, like you mentioned, Diggs type receiver.
So what's our third holdout?
So there's options out there.
What's our third holdout?
Our third holdout is Trey Hendrickson. Now this one also ties into kind of the same. It's kind of more similar to the Cowboys. The difference between the Cowboys and the Bengals is that whereas the Cowboys have just buku money to spend on their players, their talent, the Bengals, who they've already paid Burrow his dollars, they've already paid Higgins his dollars, they've already paid Jamar Chase his dollars. Can you afford to pay Hendrickson, who's their best defensive player, that elite TJ Watt level type money? But that's the kind of money he's asking for. He wants somewhere not quite TJ Watt, $41 million, but he wants somewhere in that $25-30 million.
What's left on his contract? Is it another year or two?
One last season. One last season, I believe.
It looks like you might have to let him walk.
Yeah, and that's going to be the question. He's the one most of the three. He's the one most likely to have to. I don't say they're going to let him walk. I think they're going to trade him.
Next man up.
I think it would be it'd be a huge mistake to let him leave and not get anything for him.
The money's basically over there has been dispersed. So a player that's playing over there, you have to play over there with the intentions on getting the Super Bowl. And take the max money that they can offer, and try to have them lock you down in endorsement deals to fill in the rest of the void.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a team that is offensive heavy. I mean, they put all their money into the offense. The defense last year was their Achilles heel by far. You're now looking at your best player on what was a mediocre defense possibly leaving. Where does that leave Cincinnati in a very tough division? And who knows? I mean, it's as what I mentioned earlier. There's a lot of question marks as to where Cincinnati.
It's getting juicy. That new season is popping, and we can't wait to get into more of all this news that is accumulating over the weeks. And with training camp just opening, it's just a little spice on the end of the fort. Just a little spice. But hey Steve, let's talk about that Hall of Fame.
Yeah, let's close out Hall of Fame game. So we had 4 members join the Hall of Fame, headlined by Antonio Gates, Eric Allen, Jared Allen. I think we had 2 Allens, Eric Allen and Jared Allen, and then Sterling Sharp.
We had to blow the whistle for them.
Yeah, all 4 very solid, very deserving Hall of Famers. It's a solid class. It's not an elite class. It's not the greatest class of Hall of Famers, but it's a solid class. Hey, all 4.
They're all elite. They're Hall of Famers. And let's give them a congratulations from here from Blow the Whistle Sports.
Absolutely. And they deserve Hall of Fame recognition. Now, next year, 2026 is shaping up to be what could possibly be one of the strongest classes
Yes, sir.
in Hall of Fame history.
Yes,
There's
sir.
just some of the names just from the first year eligibilities. We're looking at Drew Brees.
Woo.
We're looking at Larry Fitzgerald. We're looking at Thomas Davis and Olsen for the Panthers. There's a couple other guys who are big name. LaShawn McCoy, I think, is up this year. Bill Belichick is going to be up this year. So, I mean, we're looking at this can be this class. These are just the first year players. Not even talking about the guys who are still battling to get in the Hall of Fame. So this Hall of Fame class in 2026 could be huge.
Right.
But let's close out on the Sharps. Because we mentioned about Sterling Sharp. One of the classiest guys to ever play in the NFL. You know, probably deserves to have gotten in the NFL Hall of Fame years prior.
Long ago
Should have been in. But, you know, the powers that be have you know, I won't say wrong. I mean, you get in. But
once you win, they can't take it away from you.
But he is part of the first brothers to make the Hall of Fame, Sterling and his brother Shannon.
The Sharp brothers.
Let's talk about Shannon Sharp, shall we?
Yes. Excellent person, excellent sports personality.
Yes.
Man, he has the resume above all the rest. Nothing can hold him back. You know, a little bit of turmoil, but you know, people are people, and people make mistakes. One thing I can say is,
all right, there's the eternal optimist in you. This is what I was talking about being in the show, guys. He just gave the eternal optimist viewpoint. I'm going to give it a realism viewpoint. Because when this topic first came up, I got a lot of flack because I was telling you how it is and how it's going to be. And my partner over here told me, no, it's not the case. Yeah, you can't test me. Again, this whole spiel that you can't trust what is said, blah, blah, blah.
You can't.
I said when this court case came up, I said this was going to be a huge problem for Shannon Sharp. This could lead him to having major issues in the future. And you were like, no. It's going to be swept under the rug, blah, blah, blah. You know, what he does outside of his should not have any effect on blah, blah, blah.
And it's true.
And it's not true because
as long as there's no criminal activity, it should be fine.
As we see now, Shannon Sharp, who had $100 million deal for his podcast and also was a major player on ESPN's First Take with Stephen A. Smith, now has saw both of those blow up in smoke over what, at very best, very poor judgment on his part. That's the kindest way of saying it. I can't stress this enough, guys. And this is to any player out there, anybody who is a celebrity, anybody who is a professional athlete, actor, comedian, whatever you are that's in the spotlight. Always make your decisions with worst case, best case scenario. Not best case, worst case scenario. Worst case, best case scenario. And what I mean by that, always assume the worst first. Never assume the best first.
Well, I want to say,
Shannon Sharp,
you do your thing, sir. I hear my partner has a different view on it, but my view is you still have Nightcap and you still have Club Shay Shay. You're doing just fine. Keep shining. And ESPN, they lost you. You didn't lose them. They lost you, and they're gonna miss you on that show. You by yourself can do this, or with Ocho Cinco or whoever you get will be just fine. You can do ESPN numbers by yourself. You've shown and proved that. And Shannon Sharp, do your thing. Do your thing.
All right, that sounds beautiful. I should pull out the violin. That sounds amazing, beautiful.
It is what it is.
Shannon Sharp, yeah. Like I said, this could be a learning lesson because it can't be a learning. Shannon Sharp, he's already dug his hole. But for other guys who are coming up, other guys who in the future want to go into the same field, want to go into being a personality, a media personality, social media, TV personality, etc. What you do off the field has everything to do with what you do on the camera, on the mic, what have you. Choose your friends and choose your relationships very wisely.
Yeah.
If your mama wouldn't agree to you doing it, don't do it.
I agree.
Shannon Sharp, you're 57. She was 19. That in and of itself should have told you, don't do it.
Nah, that's a choice. She wasn't underage. Those are two grown adults. Now, what I will say on the opposite of what he said was, all entertainers, sports figures use this as a learning lesson. When you get to a certain level, you have to find you one woman, and you can't play the field anymore because the field has become loaded with landmines. There's no playboy. There's no running around. You got to pick one. You got to choose one. You got to lock her down, or whatever your preference is, and do your thing. There's no bouncing around anymore, sir. To all you sirs out there, please look at the handwriting on the wall, like I like to say, and be wise out there, like Steve said. Make your choices wisely, but just know, being in the light, being in the social media light, as the social media is now, everybody knows everything. So keep it light and keep it tight. That's what I'll say.
I'll let you close on that, only because I got out when the people who are the realists like me know what I said and understand what I said. Now, if you want to live in fantasy land and go by what you said, that's fine as well.
That's not a fantasy land.
There are a lot of people who
watch what you're doing. Is not a fantasy land. That is what it is.
But you're endorsing what he did as being.
I didn't endorse anything. I just said when you make your decisions, you got to make those decisions wisely. But on top of making those decisions, when you're at a certain level, you can't bounce around, because when it is what it is. You can't do that anymore.
He will never be the same again. We saw this 10 years ago with Michael Irvin, who was also on the trajectory for being an elite broadcaster, elite personality.
We also saw it with Warren Sapp.
Yes,
we saw it with Warren Sapp, but the difference between
Warren
Sapp, the difference between the person that you just named is none of them had a Club Shay Shay, and none of them had a nightcap. And none of them have been a proven person in their slot. He'll be fine. Shannon Sharp will be fine.
I mean,
and those jobs will roll around again.
No, they're not going to roll around again. He'll never be where the trajectory that he was heading towards. He'll never be able to make that trajectory again.
He'll get there.
It won't happen.
He can do it on his own with his podcast, Steve. That's the beautiful thing about social media. It can hurt you, but you can also rise from the ashes from it.
Okay. All right.
Well, his podcast has had one of the best ratings ever on social media, right?
As I mentioned before, he had a $100 million deal for his podcast. Club Shay Shay was going to go huge, and was going to be picked up by someone that was going to invest $100 million into spreading the. That's gone. Now, that's to say that it may, eventually reach a certain level. Yeah, that's possible.
He'll be just fine.
All right. Well, with this guys, you guys mark this. Keep an eye on see where his future goes.
Hey, I wish him well.
I wish him well too. I mean, I don't want anything bad about it. I'm just saying this is a learning lesson for other guys who are going to go down the same road he's going to go down. Don't make the same mistakes.
That's for all our new players coming in and players to be. All you guys, get yourselves some bodyguards and make wise decisions. We'll see y'all here next week, 7 p.m. Blow the Whistle Sports. We're back Wednesday. Oh my goodness. And it's more to come because the preseason just started. This is when you get the butterflies in your stomach and things are just working right. And you're going to see the Carolina Panthers do their thing.
Oh my Lord. And we haven't even talked about fantasy football yet. So we got a whole lot to get into.
A whole lot to get into because we got those contests coming again that you guys all like. We're giving away those prizes. But hey, Steve, I look forward to seeing you on camera next week, sir.
We'll be, absolutely. We're going to be ready, primed and ready. So everybody have a good week. Enjoy the first week of real exhibition games, and peace out.
And thank you to all our followers. Please like, subscribe, and share. Hit that like button. Drop a comment in there. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.